All right, good morning, everybody. I kind of got everything set up. I'm just waiting for somebody to join the chat or start watching the live stream. I'm just going to leave it open on the cover right there for a minute, leave the book open. Kind of just looking at positioning now for the cell phone actually, just so I get the camera worked out to the right spot. I think that's going to be okay like that. We do have a glare here. I wonder if I can do something about that glare. Maybe not. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up because I want to. Good morning. We'll be continuing this morning. Let's see. Let me zoom in a little bit. I always have to stand up. Yeah, that'll be pretty good about like that, I think. We are going to be working on this book. And I'm going to do this book in brown, the cover, but we're going to do the pages the same. So we're going to go with the pale. You got the very lightest of our yellows first, just to get a base. Now this color, we can't even hardly see it on the paper. Now we come back with the other color. And then we'll put some of this brown in here, the darker color. Now we can always darken this a little bit if we need to. Just because it's in shadow. So we'll leave that like that for a minute. Now let's see what we can do with the book. I want to put a brown cover on this book. Sherry, good morning. How are you? I've been practicing my shading. I was going to put shading in the title of this video, but I noticed that Evelyn is doing a series on shading. So how you been doing? Oh, I'm okay. Glad to have my Wi-Fi working again. I'm going to do this book cover in brown and see how this works. Yes, I'm going to do this book cover in brown. Or I'm going to attempt to make it look brown. I'm just starting out with the light color right now, and then I'll come back and put in some darker, because I'm not sure where I need the darker colors for exactly sure. Now let me see what I can do with this back here. I hope it does, but I was thinking that brown is probably the primary color of book covers at one point in time. Now, I would say my probably most successful blend with browns was on the fence in the sunflower page. Yeah, I was happy with the way that worked out. This is turning out okay so far. Now, I'm really glad that you mentioned shading. I was kind of intimidated at first. Just darken this edge up just a touch. I use that lightest color on it, but maybe something like that. Yeah, I'm glad I did start doing like taking a look at that. I'm going to do this other flower up here. You can't see it on camera right now. I have to move the camera, but I'm going to do this other flower up here after I do the book. And one thing I noticed about these, the colors for the bookends, the pages, they match pretty close with what they have on the cover. If we look at these colors, I don't know how well you're going to see this on camera. But our colors for the page ends, like I said, it's a little hard to see on camera, but they match with the page ends over here pretty good. So that was cool. At least we got the right colors. Now, part of this is going to be pretty tough because it's a matter of figuring out what's happening back here. Some of it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. Some of the lines up in here, I'm really going to have to be careful and kind of take my time to figure out what's happening exactly. Sometimes it can be hard to interpret the line work and what it actually representing. It is. That's exactly right. Even up here where I was at first thinking this was another book laying up here, that's actually just shadow that's cast onto the background. And some of it up in here is also shadow cast onto the background. So I've got to figure out what's supposed to be what. Some of it looks like weird. So I'll just have to figure out what's happening. Yeah, I was looking at this like 4 o'clock this morning, and I was thinking I got to be careful with some of this up here. But you know what that means? I got to put a background in here because we've already got shadows cast to the background. So I've got to put a background in here. I still have to run my heat a little bit. Are you finally starting to get some spring weather, Sherry? Yeah, I'll definitely have to take my time when we get ready for that part. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think rose bushes are some of my favorite. I wish I could have them here, but I can't. I might see if I can find a picture of the rose bed that I put in at the other house where I was at before moving here. Yeah, I would love to have like a private balcony. I couldn't really put one out front though. I mean, there's a space where I can actually put a couple of lawn chairs right outside my window. Everybody has them, but a rose bush would be a little tricky with the thorns. I might get in trouble for that one. But and they don't have back balconies, which is unfortunate. This would be the perfect place for them to have done that. Now I have to think a little bit about what's happening back here behind some of these plants. No, really just behind some of the leaves. We're just going to darken it down. Yeah, yeah, I got this back here. And then we'll push this a little bit farther back. Push this a little bit farther back into obscurity, into darkness. And this will no doubt take a while practicing shading. Using black and slate gray. And then I'll take the same color and kind of go back over the top of it a little bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. I watched her, the first of her shading video series yesterday, or not yesterday, but Wednesday, or maybe it was Tuesday. I can't remember now. But I did see her first video. I need this probably just a touch darker. Now, I'm always afraid I'm going to mess up. Put a very small shadow underneath the edge of that book right there. And I always like to come over the top of it with whatever color it is I was using, just so we have the look of that color, but a darker, a little bit darker version, a little darker hue. something probably similar to that. Yeah, right up here. That corner is very weird. That corner is very weird because if you look at the book cover below it that's damaged, this book cover doesn't line up with this part, and it doesn't make sense that it would be part of this book because it's the backside. Why is it made like this? It's really weird. I'm going to make it a part of the red book below it. I'm going to make this part of this book. Like the edge is broke up here because that's facing this way. Yeah, I can see a little bit of the pages coming down underneath it right here. So it looks like it's actually open on this side. So I'm just going to make it part of this book. The alignment is weird. That's what I said. There's a few things I got to be very careful about and figure out what's happening, but I think, well, before I do the other book, I want to go back and maybe we can just rotate the camera a little bit. I'll just pull the book down a little bit because my light is in the way. See if I can move that light out of the way a little bit. So it's not in the way of the camera. Now I can push this back up there just a little bit. There we go. Now we'll do this last flower up here. And then I want to do this next book in red. I picked out some reds, not real sure how well they're going to work out. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of the new light source, I'm able to see things a little bit better. But so far I've been able to color without having to turn the book, which has been helpful. Oh, it takes practice, that's for sure. But I want to color like an artist. That's what I told Evelyn. I like that slogan, color like an artist. That's what I want to do. Well, I never really know if you guys can see on your devices how it looks on mine. It's usually different. I had not heard of that book before, but I've seen that slogan in a lot of her videos, and I really like that. Okay, see it says, oh, you can see it fine? Okay, that's good. I'm never really sure because I can look at my devices between the two devices sitting right here, and they look different. So, yeah, I think Evelyn mentioned in that video that that book was available on Amazon. I just thought it was interesting that when I was gonna when I was gonna put something about shading in the title of my live stream. Oh, you know what I forgot to do too? Now that I think about it, I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere, but I got to do something right quick. I made a thumbnail for this, so I want to actually see if I can change it. So let me take a second right here and see what I can do. I want to see if I can change the thumbnail for this. I think I can. I'll come here. I think I got it changed. Oh, I did. Nice. All right. Now I was actually able to change. I made a thumbnail for this video for this live stream. I don't know if I'm going to do it for every live stream, but I bought an external hard drive, It's actually kind of cool, but it's an SD card, but it's a 2 terabyte SD card from SanDisk. So I can start putting all my videos and stuff on this thing. So I played around with it a little bit last night, trying to figure out how to get some files saved to it and stuff like that. It's not, I can't use it like I was hoping I could. It's not like an external hard drive. It's just a SD drive, SD card more than anything else. I don't know why they don't just call it that, an SD card. But yeah, this thing was, I think it was $139. That's an average price for a 2 terabyte SD card. Now, the phone that I'm recording this with or making this live stream with, I put a 1 terabyte SD card in that phone. So I can take lots of videos and not have to worry about downloading them. But the only way I can get them transferred over to my laptop is to keep taking the SD card out of here. So it's going to work a lot better with a plug and play SD card that I don't have to keep moving back and forth. Well, I'm going to have to move it back and forth, but I don't have to use the key, take the SD card out of the phone and put it in an adapter. I don't have to go through all that stuff. I don't even know what happened to the adapter that came with the SD card. Now, this is considered a grayscale illustration, right? Okay, I thought it was. That's probably why I keep coming back to this book, because the grayscale sure does help me know where shadows go, where to put the dark colors. Yes, I think so. I think that's, it looked like every page was, yeah, grayscale to some extent.
Nature made magnesium, made to care for your heart, bones, and muscles. Magnesium from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Now, there are times when I sit here and I will color for a few minutes at a time. I don't wear my braces, and it is a lot easier. I mean, it's not a lot less painless, but it is a lot easier in the sense that I just have more freedom to move my hand. I can reach things a little bit better. And I was doing it all day Monday. I kept coming over, sitting at the table, really wanting to color, but I like to do everything on camera. I did end up going ahead, as you saw, and doing some of the flowers off camera because it's repetitiveness. And I was practicing the shading. Now this one here, I'm going to put shading on the end like this, or not shading, but highlight. Let it kind of roll around that edge right there. And then we're going to put, because this rolls around right here, I can see that it's rolled over. We want a little bit of that orange to roll over with it. I think that really helps make it look like it actually rolled over right there. something similar to that. And then we'll go back this way. Now it looks like this one is rolled over on the edge right here too. And then we're going to bring this orange up this way. Because we want this flower to look like it's rolled over. This is actually the back side of the flower that I'm coloring right here. And then we'll do a little bit right here too. It's the same thing. Well, thank you, Sherry. And then we're going to attempt to darken the center up a little bit more when we get finished here and see what we can do. Add a little bit of shading. Now, Casey and Stephen came by yesterday evening. And while she was here, she picked out colors for some of the flowers down at the bottom of the page. I haven't colored them yet. That'll be one of the last things, but she told me what colors she wanted me to make them. I'm not going to make them exactly what she wanted, but I'll make them close. And I'll show that to you before we finish because we'll zoom out. Now I can tell a big difference between coloring with my braces on, coloring with my braces off. It's a lot easier to color with them off. Like I said, I don't have to, it's easier for me to reach the different angles. And let's see, I might as well just go ahead and catch this small one while I'm here because well, like I said, I'm not going to do it exactly the way I'm not going to use the exact colors that she told me she wanted me to use. I'll show you why here when I get this flower done.
We'll finally know which egg is loved most. Reese's or
But I will do it similar to what she wanted. Basically, I will use like the colors that she wanted. I'm just not going to do it exactly the same way.
You need to get me home. I promise I will. You can't promise. I do.
Now, let's see what we can do about maybe some shading on this flower.
It's not rushing at all. It is all new Nissan Murano.
And when I did this flower down here, I felt like I overdid it with the black lines. This was the very first flower that I attempted any kind of shading. And I just feel like that I did too much. So I'm using black and a slate gray. Just to pull a little bit of shadow in here. Not too much though, and then I went back over it with the blending color. To help darken it down. Yeah, we'll just add a shadow here or there. Sometimes it can be hard to see with the lighting, just because of the way the lighting reflects off of the wax of the color. It can sometimes be a little difficult to see. Well, let me see. I cannot tell you how many times I've hit my forehead on this camera phone. It's easy to overdo it. That's not bad. Not too bad. We give just a little bit right here, but not too much. I just want to keep it dark right down in the very center. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, I did pick out some greens, uh, but I haven't really figured out exactly what all's going on inside here. But let's try a set of leaves here. We'll just do this set of leaves right here on the edge of the paper. We'll just go for this little set right here just to kind of see how it's going to work. I may have to actually change colors. I don't know. Go ahead and get all these pencils sharpened. Okay, that one's already sharpened. All right, now let's see what we can do with some leaves. I'm just going to try this this set right here. All right, let's see here. I'm always a little nervous putting pencil to paper the first time because I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. And I don't want to ruin my picture. Now I like to use, just do one segment at a time here. So I'm going to have to finish this leaf so I can see what it's going to look like. See if my colors are going to work. And this color is very close to the last color. I guess that's what we want, blending purposes. And I do have 5 colors for the leaves, but I may change it and just use 4. But for now, I'm going to do 5 just to see what it looks like. And I do like using yellow on leaves, but this time I'm not going to use yellow. I'm just going to use a real light green. Let's see what we come up with. Well, that's not exact, but let's darken it back up a little bit. Well, thank you. It is working. All right, I think something about like that. Is that what you're thinking? I don't have that many color combinations set up for blending purposes. But that is a goal. I kind of need more colors set out for the purpose of blending to make sure I do all of them differently. But maybe they'll look a little bit different in the end. I don't know. We will see. Oh, I was talking about doing every leaf differently. No two leaves the same. I was just saying that's probably not going to happen because I don't have enough different blending combinations figured out to where I can actually blend them different. I can blend them in like a different technique, perhaps. but not really. I don't think I can change the color, but that is a goal. I will do this one a little bit different technique just to see how it looks. Yeah, yeah, we'll change the, that'll look a little bit different. That's not bad. And then let's just do this one right here. Okay, something like that. Now I have a goal talking about like making things look different. Like right now, I have like 5 greens right here. And that's what I just used to do those little leaves was 5 different colors. But what I want is like, look here. This is what I want. I want like a green palette. I got to be careful here. I don't want to mix my colors up. But we've got those. And then, so what I want is like a green blending palette that goes like this deep. Let's see if I can get all these colors on the paper. I may have to zoom out. That's okay, I can zoom out. Well, I got them all on here. So what I want to do is like I have 5. I'm using these 5, but I want a palette that goes deep so I can move these 5 back and forth through this palette and get different combinations, but all within the same colors. I did that on my sunflowers on that sunflower page, but I only had 7 colors, so I could only shift like, one color, one direction, or I could move 2 colors and move 2 colors, and then I did one that was in the middle. But if you have enough colors in succession where you can move that scale back and forth, then you can get all these flowers could literally be different colors, but all within the same family of color that all work together. So that's my goal. I haven't got up that far yet. In some cases, I have like 5 colors where I really want like 11 or 12 to be able to do like a sliding scale. But I am not there yet. Yeah, I've had that in my mind. I talked about that once before a while back. And at that time, I was still like 3 color blends, trying to figure out some 3 color blends. And I noticed that all this stuff is all 4 color blends, except for the page ends. That's only 3 color. But I have progressed up to 4 color blends. And if I can figure it out, I'll eventually end up with 11 or 12 where I can just move around. That's going to be so cool to be able to do that. But I do have a hard time picking colors. Hey, Thomas. Okay, so now I want to do this book down here, this red book. So let's see. I want to work on this red book. I just did the leaves. I just wanted to see what the green was going to look like. How are you doing today, Thomas? Well, thank you, Sherry. All right, so I want to look at this red or this book, the next book in line. It's going to be red. But let's see. So here's my colors for the book. And we're just going to see how it works. I don't do real good at picking red palettes, or I have not had much success yet. So we'll see how this goes. All right, okay. Are you excited about that? I mean, all right. Whoops, I almost jumped the gun. I don't want to start. I want to start with the pages. Let's get the pages out of the way first. And we're just going to do all the pages the same. I think it's okay. We'll just use the same colors on the pages. This is very hard to see. It's very hard for me to see.
Get 25% off all spring clothing and accessories only at Target.
I doubt that you guys can even see this color on camera. It's very, very light. But that's what we want right here. So let me ask you guys this. When you color, do you color on the black line or do you not color the black line? I'm talking about the edge now, not like on a grayscale, you kind of have to cover the blinds inside to work. But do you guys color on top of that, the darker black line, your outline? Oh, every 5 years. Okay. Now this will brighten it up just a little bit, but not very much. But maybe you'll be able to see the color in here. And then we'll just add a little bit of that brown to antique it. And that's about all we'll do with the paper. Now we may come back and add just a little bit of darker shadow to it. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I do my best not to color on the lines as far as the outer line. Of course, like I said, when you're coloring grayscale, you're going to have to get some on some of these lines in here. You can't avoid the shading lines, but as far as the main design, I try not to color on the black line. And I really like the grayscale. It just does help me kind of know where I need to have a little darker color at. I'm not sure if I could figure all that out if I was doing it on my own. If this was just a blank white space, I would struggle. I don't like large blank spaces, just white spaces on the paper. It's so hard to color and get even coverage. Yeah, a lot of people don't do grayscale. This book doesn't feel like grayscale compared to like a couple of the other grayscale books that I have. So I really like this one. Now let's see here with the red. And this is a color that I've never really been able to blend very good either. So we're going to see how it goes. Now the binding is broke. On this one, I almost forgot about that because I need to actually take these the colors for the paper and continue that color up here, because this is all bookend. So we need to get this color going back up here too. Dee Dee, hi. Oh, good. I hope that's what's happening also, Dee Dee. Yeah, something like that right there. Well, thank you. Let's see. Now we can go back on the red right here. Now let's see what we got. Let's come in with a darker red. Oh, good. Now, this down here was a little bit of look like the pages paper. So I'm just going to darken that down just a little bit like that.
Get your sauce on with the new KFC Dunkin' Bucket. Grab yours for just $7.
Charmin reinvented the square for a smoother tear. Oh yeah, Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Sometimes the best beginnings start with a clip. Start yours now and let the magic begin this summer at Walt Disney World Resort.
Gravity defyer for life. Times for life.
Well, I'm glad it does seem to be helping. And this we are going to put in this color because there is a ribbon that runs through here where these pages of the book is tied together, and there is a strip of material that actually covers this, right? It's glued onto it. Now I'm just going to put a little color in here. We're going to darken this down when we do our shading. Yeah, I'll be glad when that thing's healed up for you too, Dee Dee. That way you don't have to keep seeing doctors and stuff. Now let's see, let's add a little bit of now let's see what we can do about putting a little bit of shadow underneath. I should wait until I get that colored, but that leaf, but maybe we can go ahead and get some shadow looking like it's in here. And I'm just using a combination of black and slate gray for the shadow areas. And then I go back over it with the actual color. So we maintain the same color, just a darker version, different hue. I guess it's called a hue. I don't know all the terminologies. And I never really know what things are going to turn out looking like. I can only hope for the best. Well, thank you, Dee Dee. Now this shading, I will tell you, was inspired by Sherry. She challenged me over the week to begin thinking about shadows and shading and stuff like that. And I'm glad she did, because it's not even something I had thought about. I've really just been working on like improving my ability to blend. And then I like to just come back with the same color. Now let's see if we can put just a little bit of shadow, just a touch right under the bottom edge of this book right here. It has a little bit of that indicated. I want to extend it down just a little bit. Maybe something like that.
Bounty never will last long, so you can tackle. Bounty never will clean skills without running out. Bounty, quicker figure out.
Well, I hope I do a good job.
Starter, enter another tab.
So far, I'm happy.
And hit play on your next adventure. Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Buster gift
I'll zoom out where you can see the flowers.
and Best Buster. Visit bestbuster.com for complete terms and conditions.
Pain means pause.
I don't know. I saw the word challenge in that email.
Viruses shall be 2 times more effective than ice, so you can keep on going. Biofreeze. Green means go.
Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this back here. I think this is all part of the binding. That's exactly right. So I'm going to put some of this darker red color in here. And then we'll, it's just going to be in shadow mostly anyway, I think. I've got kids outside my door screaming. I'm just making this quite dark back here. And then it's going to have, it will have a little bit of a shadow, but not a lot because it's not totally covered back here. Let's see, but we do want to make it darker. We want this right here to be pretty dark. Wow. All right, I think that's probably pretty good. We can come back and touch that up if we need to. I'm not sure what's happening down here, so I'm gonna wait until I get the leaves colored in, and then I'll try to figure out what's going on back back inside here underneath that part. Let's see, I think we need, I need this to be a little bit darker back here. About like that. And then we'll add just a little bit of a shadow to this under here. All right, there we go. Actually, a body of water probably could affect a tornado. Let's see, I want to try to darken this just a little bit. Maybe just color from a different angle right here. That's better. So a little bit of white I could see. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Now I'm really undecided about some of these other books. This book, this right here, this is a folder. So I think I'm going to do it in grays. Oh, wow. I have lived in areas where they have tornadoes. Nothing ever landed real close to where I live, maybe a quarter mile away, half mile away, stuff like that, but nothing like real close. So I think I will do this little folder right here. I'm going to do it with grays. And it actually has like a, I'm just going to put some of this color that we're using for the paper's edge right down through here because it does have a little bit of color for that. I'm not really sure what's supposed to be in that thing. It looks like probably a picture. And I'm just using this lightest gray that I have here, just for a little highlight. And then we'll start
The new KFC
bringing this down a little darker.
Grab yours for just $7.
My kids can't hide anything from me. I know. Especially when they've been using toilet paper that doesn't run up. You show me all
Oh, I saw the name Carmel and I thought Carmel, California.
you can use less. Enjoy the go with Sharpie.
Not getting too cool. Giving temptations craving gray.
We live in a world obsessed with more, and before we know it, our desire for more turns into more bills, more debt, and less joy for the things that truly matter. Premier keeps it simple, so you can focus on more of what you need with Premier Bank Card, the power of simplicity. Sometimes the greatest rush.
Black and gold. Oh, cool. So you can get them custom colored? Do they paint them for you? Or is that like a prefab color, but they have options? Oh, okay. Well, I like the idea that you're able to make changes like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I better use the darker color. Now let's throw some of the dark. Well, I've never lived in a town. Well, I've lived close to, I lived in the LA area, but I never went to a professional football game out there. And otherwise, I've never lived in a city where they had a professional football team. Well, I take that. I lived outside of Washington, D.C. when I was in the military. I never went to one of their games either. Now, let me see if I can't get just a little more shading going underneath the edge of this book right here. We don't need a lot, just a little bit. About like that. Well, I kind of agree. I went to the Pro Bowl game one time in Hawaii, and if I hadn't got discounted tickets, it would have been a real disappointment. But with the discounted tickets, I was sitting in the VIP section, so that was kind of cool. Oh, I forgot to color this right here. I forgot to do this little part up here. That's better. Now let me zoom back out. Yeah, that would be awesome. Whoops, got my beard sticking underneath the camera. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, Thomas. If you can send me a picture of it once you get it, I'll post it. Now, this group of flowers right here in the bottom, guys, when Casey and Stephen came over yesterday, and Casey told me she wants me to color this group of flowers right here with red, pink, and yellow. So I asked her red, pink, and yellow, and she said, yeah, yellow, so we can bring yellow from here over to here. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same red that I used on these flowers. I'm going to use the same red to tie it to this, not yellow, because I'm going to have yellow right there. There's going to be a little spot of yellow. So Casey will get her yellow, but I think red is going to work better to connect these. So I'm going to use the same red down here. not yellow. But I still got to figure all that out, those colors. But that's Casey's request for reds and pinks. Make some of this just a little bit darker through here. I think it's going to look a little better. Dee Dee, how did my thumbnail look when you came in? Do you remember? Because I changed it from a Sweet William with white edges, okay? I might be able to find like a cream. I might even use white. We can see. We can look at that. Come in just a little bit darker right here, guys. Not too dark, but I kind of missed this white spot right here. Just the paper that's on the inside of that cover. No, that's better. Well, I have my, I normally do just my regular thumbnail, just becoming a colorist. But I was showing this earlier. I bought this thing right here. It's a SanDisk external SSD card. It's really just a SD card. That's what it is. It's a SD card. But for me, it's a lot faster, or hopefully it's going to be a lot faster than removing the SD card from my cell phone, put it in an adapter, and then put it in the laptop so the laptop could read it. I actually thought this was a hard drive, but it's not a hard drive. I actually bought it so I could put like different apps on it, like YouTube Create. I wanted to be able to put YouTube Create on this thing right here, and then I could take it wherever I went and be able to use it. But it doesn't work that way. So it will not run programs or apps. So it's really just a SD card, but I'm able to put more on it. So I made that thumbnail and put on there. So I just decided to try it out today and see how well it worked. Now on the rest of the books, we've got 3 more books. 2 of these books will be brown, and I think I'm going to do 1 more into blue. I've been trying to think of like book cover colors, and I think for the most part that covers are going to be brown. Okay, thank you, Dee Dee. I won't really see what it looks like as a thumbnail posted until after I'm done and I look at, then I can see the thumbnail for this particular live stream. Even though I made it, I don't know what it actually looks like as a thumbnail on a reel. But anyway, let's see. I think I want to add a little bit more, maybe some more dark right in here. That's a little whiter than what I want. So maybe we can darken this down just a little bit, not a lot. It's just where I can see some of the white of the page yet. So we'll just pull it down just a little bit more. It doesn't take much, just a little bit. Pull it down just a little. And just like that, that's better. That's better. Okay. I noticed you had a Calmlands going. I noticed that when I was getting ready to get on here this morning, that you did a Calmlands last night, maybe?
Anyway, what's your name? Jennifer? Mm-hmm. Anderson? Same class, for 4 reasons.
Olive green, olive green. That's kind of what I have going on in the leaves. I will watch some of that later, Dee Dee. I haven't watched any of it yet. I just happened to scroll past it when I was getting ready. I was trying to find something to play in the background over here while I'm doing this, so it's not quite so quiet.
History. Save up to 30% on moving and storage until May 19th and see why Pods is America's
But I will be looking at that.
or renovating. Save up to 30% at pods.com today.
I'm going to have to play my Calmlands differently than I've ever played it before, just because of the changes to the map. But anyway, all right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I've been streaming for just over 2.5 hours now. We made some progress. We got a brown book and a red book and some leaves and another flower. So what do you think about my shading up to this point, Dee Dee? Okay, well, I'll have to pay attention at that part so I can see what's going on. I keep thinking I need to do something more with this, but I don't really think I do. It just seems like it's not quite dark enough. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'll develop more of an eye for it as I continue practicing. So now I may work on some of these leaves off camera, guys. I really don't like doing stuff off camera. I like doing it all on camera, but it might be better to go ahead and just, if I can, do some of these leaves off camera because it's all just repetitious anyway. I don't want it to get too boring. Let's see, I need to fix this right here. This is not dark enough. All right, now let's see. See if we can make this just a little bit darker. Well, I do certainly appreciate the encouragement, guys. Uh, like I said earlier, I do want to color like an artist, even though I'm not an artist. I would like to color like one, so the more I can learn, there, that's better. That should have been a little bit darker. I'm more happy with that now. And like I said, some of this I'll figure out after I get the leaves done, just so I can figure out what's what. Some of this in here is going to be tricky because I don't know what it's supposed to be. I look at the line work and it doesn't necessarily make sense to me right away. So I'll have to just like, as we do something, then I'll figure out what the other stuff parts are. Even down here is a little bit, I got to try to figure out what's supposed to be leaf and what's supposed to be background or stem and stuff like that. So, but anyway, well, here's the difference. See, I believe that an artist is a person who can draw, and I can't draw. I think you are, Dee Dee, are an artist because you could draw you could put your own background in here. You could come in here and you could add leaves if you wanted to. You could do that kind of stuff. I believe Sherry can do that kind of stuff. Casey, she can draw. I can't draw, so that disqualifies me as an artist. But I would like to color like an artist. I like that expression. I didn't think of it. Somebody else thought of it, but I do like it. So I do want to take my time, at least do as good as I can do. Well, it may not be your strongest suit, but if you can do it, if you can draw, you can call yourself an artist. I would have a hard time drawing a straight line with a ruler. Actually, speaking of that, we're going to do something right quick, which is in the realm of artistry. If you guys can still hear me. All right, so look here. I want to do something because if you look at this picture, we can see that this book, it's sitting on something, but there's nothing indicated over here that it's actually sitting on anything. There's nothing that represents a surface. Over here, we can say, well, it's sitting on a table and the edge of the table comes through where this book is, like this, like a table. So I'm going to draw a table I don't know if I want to make it straight this way, straight across, like this. Well, I'm about to attempt drawing a straight line. I don't know if I want a table that comes straight across like this, or if I actually want to try to make something that's more, maybe our table is sitting at an angle. So I want to do this right here. We'll put our table at an angle. Now, I just added a black line that gives us an indication of where a table edge might be, just for the purpose of the background, because I've got to do a background, and it's real hard for me, like when everything has a black line and then there's no black line and it's just color against color, it changes it. So I decided I wanted to, sorry guys, this light might come out, but I really like this light because I can pivot it so that I can, I just want to get a black line across here that's going to represent the edge of the table. And it will look like the illustrator put that there for us so we know where the table ends. There we go. And that's about the extent of my artistic ability right there, guys. I got that little black line on. I don't even know if you guys can see that black line that I just put on there. I look on my laptop and I don't see it real well. So I'm not sure you guys can even see that line. Well, I can see it now. I can see where I put it. Okay. Got my beard in the way. Okay, so I put in I added a black line. Well, I'm not sure how great it's going to be, but maybe you can see it now. I put that little black line right there. It's going to be, well, it's going to be an important addition, yeah, because that's going to be our table edge. So now we have a black line that indicates where that's supposed to be. So now let's zoom back out. This thing's always hard to get it to zoom correctly. Just trying to center the picture up a little bit there, guys. I have to keep moving the camera around just a little bit just to get it to angle. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. We made some progress. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And like I say, I may work on some of the leaves and stuff off camera. Just depends. Some days I feel like sitting here and coloring more than I do other days. So if it turns out to be one of the days over the weekend, then I will work on the leaves, not on some of the other stuff, but the leaves, just because it's repetition. Thanks, Dee Dee. God bless you. Thanks for coming. Sherry Thomas, thank you. Oh, I look forward to the next one, guys. I will catch you guys on Monday. Until then, God bless.